Hello and welcome to Talking Trades, a weekly podcast. We talk about comics so you don't have to. I'm Jeremy, I'm a DC fan.
And I'm John, I'm a Marvel nut.
And I'm Matt, and I like both.
Ooh, what a Christmas treat that was. Gentlemen, if you had to ask for one thing Christmas, or one Christmas present that's comic related, what would you ask for?
All of it. No.
All of it. But last year there was 37.
I don't know. It's a good question. Glad that it was sprung on us. Maybe
I wanted this to be an off the cuff answer.
Maybe One More Day style retconning of Civil War II.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
That's what I want.
You know what? We didn't mention it last week, so we have to
make up for lost time.
Have to start the counter over. It is what it is.
Matt, what would you ask for?
I'd love to see some version of House of M that somehow incorporates the mutants getting into the MCU. I don't know how, but I love that story. I really loved that book when we read it. So I think really cool.
More miracles.
I like it.
Is that what it would be? Like,
I guess. I don't know.
It's literally just adding punctuation to the end of House of M.
No, comma, mutants.
No, comma, more mutants, exclamation point. I like that answer. That's a good answer. I would ask for either a comic book set in the Harry Potter universe before Harry Potter's a thing. So like more Harry Potter, or a comic book set in in Barovia. I want some Curse of Strahd.
Ooh, that would be cool.
In comic form.
It'd be cool to get that Harry Potter stuff, but I think the video game that's coming out is going to cover that.
That's like Hogwarts Legacy era.
The problem with that is McGonagall's not in it, and so I don't care.
McGonagall's not
I want
in the
a
game?
McGonagall origin story. No, it's taken like 200 years.
Yeah, it's too young. She wouldn't have been born yet.
That's fine.
Dumbledore might be there.
She'll get her own. She'll get her own HBO Max series.
Oh my God! Stop saying words. That sounds so good. Oh my God! Now I want nothing more. Oh, cancel it all, dude. Shut it down. Yeah, reallocate all that Snyder Cut money to the McGonagall cut.
Well, I mean, we should probably at least see the Snyder Cut.
No. I'm fine with starting over and just giving me a McGonagall movie.
Just like, sorry, Zach, your movie gave us hype, but now
Zack Snyder's a smart man. He'll go, oh, of course, absolutely.
I mean, obviously, I'll step down.
I'm so jacked, gentlemen. I liked your answers, but let's hear about some news in the real world. As much as we would love to hear about the news of these things coming true, let's jump right into This Week in Geek.
This Week in Geek.
This Week in Geek, John, Marvel said, hey, here's everything.
It's Chrisman.
It's a crisis.
Merry Chex Mix.
Happy Chrysler.
On Thursday, the 10th. Yeah, the 10th. They had the Disney Investors Day. The very same. They had the Investors Day, which is normally nothing this bananas. But when you take into account that Disney hasn't had a D23, there was no Comic-Con, like there was no real outlet for this, and obviously DC had the Fandom.
Fandom.
So they did all the things. We have what I assume is Slate 4, which is gigantic.
John, name 17 things on Slate 4.
I know one.
I got you.
Night.
I got you.
Super excited for that.
Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So we got a new trailer for WandaVision, which comes out January 15th. Like we're doing the thing. There was a trailer for Loki, which looks a lot cooler than I thought it was going to. So there is that. I'm actually excited for Loki.
It looks like it's taking like the Loki comic where he's the president or whatever.
Not exactly. I didn't read that comic, but there's no part in the trailer where he was like president. I think he basically is forced to be a detective across like different universes and stuff.
Interesting.
Is my kind of take on the trailer. It looks pretty sweet.
I'm into it.
That's in May 2020. The biggest heartbreak, I see 2020.
Well, it would already happened then.
Yeah, it would have been months ago.
So it already happened. So was it good?
Dude, it's so good.
It's like my favorite.
Sorry.
Loki equals great.
I had a rough day at the quote unquote office, and the dates on this article are not correct. So
thanks a lot, dates.
Loki is low-key amazing.
And Matt is cutting the podcast forever.
Because I was going to say the biggest heartbreak is Falcon Winter Soldier won't come out until March 2021, but I didn't realize that that's in 3 months.
Yeah, right.
I was looking for 20.
Yeah, it's coming.
You guys,
we're almost there.
It looks amazing.
Exciting.
It looks amazing. I'm so stoked to continue the Captain America Civil War story. Oh my god. And we got a trailer for What If, which is the animated series where it's just kind of one-offs where one Haley Atwell is confirmed to play Peggy Carter, who gets the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers. There's also one where what if instead
so it's
of,
like what if something else happened? I understand now.
Yeah. But there is one with a where instead of Star-Lord, what if Yondu took a young T'Challa,
which is
into space?
Amazing.
Let's go.
Like, I'm so excited about that series. Then we got Ms. Marvel, which arrives late 2021. No specific date, but late 2021.
Okay, so it hasn't happened yet.
Are you going to swear when it comes around? Because you've sworn every time Ms. Marvels come up.
All the single time.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Of course I will.
But I haven't seen the trailer yet, so I'm not that excited yet.
It'll happen.
But
it'll happen.
It's inevitable. I'm very glad they did get a newcomer.
Mm-hmm.
So Iman Vellani, and this will be her acting debut, as far as I can tell, which is one thing that I was very hopeful for Ms. Marvel. They would cast an unknown, and we have
worked for Luke Skywalker.
It sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did. We also have Secret Invasion.
Woo! With the Skrull?
Yeah,
Skrull.
the Skrulls. The only returning characters as of this point are Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury and Talos, which is the main Skrull character from Captain Marvel.
The guy who was killed by Bane. This gives you power over me.
That's the one. Yeah, so that's going to be a series.
I think he's South African.
Ben Mendelsohn?
I'm Ben Mendelsohn, yeah.
Or is he just straight up British?
I don't know.
American.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm excited.
John, you don't know when May is. You don't know where Ben Mendelsohn's from. What are you good for?
I don't know.
That was sad. You said that's so sad.
But anyway, so I thought they would do Secret Invasion as either Captain Marvel 2 or an Avengers movie. Instead, we're getting a series. I'm into it. I'm glad we're doing it.
It makes so much more sense to do like a villain of the week with that. Like, a Skrull has invaded and is so-and-so. And then they can just battle that for a week. I think it's genius. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited to see it.
I'm intrigued because like in Captain Marvel, the Skrull were good guys, right? They made them good guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes, but there are bad Skrulls.
Sure. It's just kind of interesting. I wonder how they're going to do that. I imagine we'll get some insight on it with Captain Marvel. The thing that I
am thinking of. Do you guys remember the Jackie Chan cartoon?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, John. So the premise of this cartoon was Jackie Chan and
the only thing I know is one more thing. That's the only thing I know.
One more thing. Yes, that's right. That was the grandfather. or uncle. So Jackie Chan, his uncle, and his niece go around and they're trying to get these. They're like almost like mahjong pieces, but they're little stone runes that are in they look like different animals, and the animals, these stones give people power. So they have to go running around each week to find, so and so has the ox talisman this week, and they have the chicken talisman, yada yada. But like that's what I'm hoping these scroll things are, is like they've infiltrated the White House and they've infiltrated Yankee Stadium. It's Aaron Judge, but he's a scroll. I think that would be so entertaining.
It's Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Derek Jeter, more like Derek Cheetah, and they pull his mask off.
Just Scooby-Doo style.
Yes, give me that. Let's go.
Moving on, we do have Ironheart, which I am.
Yes.
This was a surprise for me, to be honest. Like, yeah, this is where you would naturally go in Iron Man's story, because that's what happened in the comics when he was not in a coma. But yes, we have Riri Williams. Dominique Thorne was cast.
It's confirmed that's going to be Riri. It's not going to be Shuri.
Correct.
Cool.
Correct. But yeah, so and I believe Riri is 15 years old at the start of the series. But basically, if you don't know from the comics, she reverse engineered Iron Man's armor. And after the events of Civil War II, I could have just done it. I didn't even need to force it in the episode. It was already there. And then in Civil War II, Iron Man is no longer able to do the thing. She serves as the new Iron Hero as Ironheart. So
okay, yeah,
where we have that same vacuum in the MCU, and it's going to be very exciting. The one I'm probably the least excited for is Armor Wars,
because it's not Amory Wars.
First of all, yes. Secondly, it's Rhodey in a series where Stark Tech goes into the wrong hands. That's the whole premise.
So it's Iron Man?
Yeah, the first Iron Man movie.
Right.
Or the second Iron Man one?
Or the third.
Or the third one.
Right. So that's why I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, all right. John, what else you got?
Moon Knight.
Yes.
Oh, we don't need to talk about that.
You shut your mouth.
It's probably going to be starring like a mediocre actor who's not handsome at all. And the character itself isn't like fun or entertaining or like Batman or anything. I think we can just skip it.
That's it. I'm coming over. I'm going to have to beat you up now.
Obviously Moon Knight is such a big deal for like Matt, especially because Oscar Isaac is in it and it's the Marvel Batman.
The Oscar Isaac news is the only information we have on that series.
He's such an interesting character too, and like Moon Knight, at least with because I started reading some of the stuff that was on the Comixology, is a lot of it is surrounded with, it kind of deals with him with his mental health and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to see what they do with Moon Knight. Obviously,
that's a new version of it. We'll see if they do that again.
Obviously, I love some Oscar Isaac.
The official tweet from Disney is Moon Knight, an original series about a complex vigilante, is coming to Disney Plus. That's it.
Yeah.
Starring Oscar Isaac, so Matt's in. It could be a show about 2 feet slapping each other, and Matt be like, is Oscar Isaac in it? I'll check it out.
Real talk. Are they Oscar's feet?
Ew. What else? What other news do you have to
She-Hulk?
That?
Yes, She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Go.
Tatiana Maslany is confirmed to play Jennifer Walters and She-Hulk, and has Mark Ruffalo returning as Banner and the Hulk, but also Tim Roth as Abomination. Who saw that coming?
Stop.
Not me.
Sold. Let's go.
I'm into it.
Everything
I in no way saw that coming.
I am still happy we're getting a She-Hulk show. Jennifer Walters.
We're getting a She-Hulk show. They're, in a shocking turn of events, shedding more light on the fact that the Incredible Hulk did happen. Like, all sorts of surprises.
Hopefully they do like a cheeky joke at one point about like, oh yeah, you used to look really different. Like, oh yeah.
The only thing
crazy.
is in Incredible Hulk, I guess spoilers if you haven't seen the movie that came out in 11 years ago.
Oh, hold on. Let me turn my headphones off. Just let me know when to come back.
Is Hulk kills Abomination in that. So we'll see.
Well,
can he die?
He wasn't dead though. I don't know if you know this, Matt, but sometimes comic book characters come back.
And then Stan Lee gets a bit of the gamma radiation in him through a soda pop. So
he's the new Abomination.
That's true. But I'm also wondering, are they going to bring in the leader? Because they super set that up and then nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that. That's one thing I'm hoping for from that series.
What else you got, John?
Obviously, litigation. Give me that sweet, sweet litigation. The final bit I have is Christian Bale is confirmed cast in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes, he is.
He is going to be Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah.
Now, is he going to have to gain weight, lose weight, cut off a limb? What's he going to have to do?
He'll do it.
He said,
don't matter.
We know
He'll
he
do
will.
it.
He said after, I think, Cheney, he said that he is done doing the extreme weight loss. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. I don't know what that character looks like. So I don't know.
I'm just curious because I think he's from this.
Go ahead.
Well, unless I'm mistaken, I think Gore is from the planet the symbiotes are from, or has some tie to the symbiotes.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if they're going to toy with that, or if Spider-Man 3 is like an actual factual exit of Spider from the MCU. If they're just going to avoid it, like I don't know what direction they're going to go with it.
So here's the thing: someone needs to approach Christian Bale and say, "Listen, Christian, they have these incredible things called prosthetics and motion capture, and it looks really good now. You don't have to do it. Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, no, just put some prosthetics on me. La-di-da." No, Christian, you're going to die. Put some prosthetics on. Knock it off.
And I lied. I have one more thing because it's so random I forgot about it.
Oh, my God, this guy over there.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Ooh, I'm listening.
Directed by James Gunn.
Hell yeah.
What?
Hell yeah.
2022. It's going to be filmed alongside Guardians 3.
Amazing.
Okay.
Like
moving
they're filming
on.
it like at the same time. That's what I got. The only other little tidbit is that they confirmed that Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness will connect directly to WandaVision and Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
Or their third Spider-Man movie, I think is the way they phrased it.
I still need to watch that Lego Star Wars holiday special.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I need to watch it. I need to.
Hey, I'll watch it Christmas Eve while I'm working, because why not?
Any hoozles.
Yeah,
that's all I got for
John,
Marvel.
Matt, what do you got? Matt, what do you got?
So I didn't post this in any of the chats and stuff, and it's not because I wanted it to be a surprise. It just slipped my mind. But you guys remember? You guys remember the news from Fandom where we talked where we talked about that mini series where it was going to have a new Batman, and it was confirmed he was going to be a person of color. They did announce this week that it is going to be Lucius Fox's son, Tim Fox. He will be the Batman in that upcoming series.
Tim Fox or Luke Fox?
It's Tim Jace Fox will follow Bruce Wayne as Batman in the upcoming miniseries.
I have no idea who Tim Fox is. That's crazy. I'm into it, though. That's awesome.
That's why. Because Tim is the estranged son of Lucius Fox and brother to the former Batwing Luke Fox. That's
cool.
He first appeared in Batman 313 on April 10th, 1979. And he made his appearance in October.
Oh, so he's like a really well-known character.
And he made his appearance in October's Batman 101, where he was in a conversation between Batman and Lucius Fox, who has since recorded.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is going to be Lucius Fox's estranged son wearing the cape and cowl.
More representation.
Yeah, so it's really cool. It's really, really cool. I'm excited. And
as the youth say, esketet.
And the artist, like a lot of people have been pointing out, like they really tried to make him look kind of like Idris Elba.
No, stop, don't. Still have to make a movie about it. Stop.
I know.
No.
I know.
Oh, no.
Talking about that, and then the fake McGonagall show, Jeremy's going to lose his mind.
Stop. No, I want to.
Well, we'll bring him back down to earth. Apparently, Zack Snyder is currently working to restore the IMAX aspect ratio to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice for, I'm sure, reasons.
Who cares?
Right.
Wait, so what does that mean?
Oh my god!
This is a tweet from Zack Snyder on December 12th, which was 3 days ago.
As of this recording.
Was at CO3 yesterday with Stefan, and we were working on the remastering of BVS, restoring the IMAX aspect ratio, and I think you're going to see a bit more.
Is it going to be...
Doomsday was just in this... No, not Doomsday. Darkseid was just in the movie the whole time, just like off to the side going, oh my god. But they had to cut it because of the aspect ratio.
There's just lanterns in the sky all the time.
All the time.
Like every night scene.
Is it...
they can finally restore them.
Going to be the BVS extended cut is my question, because I still need to see
I hope so. That's the only...
That's the only one that should matter.
That would be the only way I'd go see it in IMAX, is if I'm seeing essentially a different, better movie.
Along those lines, something that actually has news, there is talks of getting the Snyder Cut released into theaters.
Interesting.
I kind of figured...
Do you think it'd be like a 4-hour endeavor?
Yeah.
I feel like that would work as like those Fathom events, like when we saw Killing Joke do something like that, where like one night only, all of the Snyder Cut, pay an extra.
No. Put it in theaters for like a year and let me just see it a bunch of times.
Okay.
Unless it's terrible.
And then you'll only see it like half a bunch of time.
Well, yeah. I'm not crazy.
The only thing is, like, I don't think this is the year.
No.
To throw out random excuses to get people into the theater.
Why? What do you say that for? Is something going on?
The unpleasantness.
The unpleasantness.
The unpleasantness. I'm not sure what you're Oh, yes, of course. Of course, that's right. Yes. The impeachment hearings.
Those were a few years ago, my guy.
That was last year.
Was it? God.
Yeah.
This year just...
It's been
2020 has been 84 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it has.
It's not the worst. The investigations finished at Warner Brothers in regards to Joss Whedon and Ray Fisher. And, quote, remedial action has been taken. Now, Matt, what's remedial action?
That's a great question.
That's a really great question. We don't have the answer. We don't know what the remedial action is, but we do know that remedial action was taken. I don't know what
remedial action is.
Not in the context of this tweet or this story. Yeah. So
a change made to a non-conforming product or service to address the deficiency. This also can refer to restoration of a landscape from industrial activity.
Hey, so that was words you said.
Thank you.
The important thing is nothing has happened yet.
John, with the dictionary definition, or the now called Dick-Johnary.
Boom!
I'm on fire tonight, guys.
It's a term
your name's not
referring to action taken by businesses to counteract deficiencies or undesirable characteristics.
Yeah, hey, John, I think we understood that. I don't really think we had to go into that. The point was that nothing has happened.
At least nothing.
But thank you very much.
At least,
you think the Snyder Cut is the remedial action?
I guess.
Just, hey, we're gonna make your movie, but better now. No, I imagine we'll hear more of it in the coming months. I'm sure news will eventually.
Yeah, something will come out later.
Yeah, then we'll kind of get more in depth of what all went down and what all transpired, and what all their investigation into it turned up. So, yeah, that's something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. Matt, what else we got?
Next up, also a continuation of something from DC's Fandom. You have to say it like that every time.
Every single time.
So as we know, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had a Black Adam segment during Fandom in August.
During what?
Talking about Black Adam, we got to see, him talk about Kondak. We got to see some Jim Lee concept art. We got to hear about other characters making an appearance, one of which is Dr. Fate, which I'm so excited for.
We need Dr. Fate in our lives.
But just this past week, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson posted on Instagram a gym selfie, which I feel like he's the only person.
Which he's known to do.
He's the only person I feel like in the history of ever that is allowed to take gym selfies and have it not be cringy, because he's the nicest human on earth. But he said it's time to get to work, and that I think pre-production of Black Adam will be starting in 2021. So they are
let's go
moving in with that show, or movie rather. I'm very excited. I'm excited, and I don't even know that much about Black Adam, and I'm excited.
I don't think you have to. I think just just how we know how much passion is going into this. Honestly, it could be about damn near anything. I think it'd be just as exciting to know how passionate somebody is about this movie. Somebody, especially with the pull that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has. Like, clearly, he isn't going to do something if he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah,
and he's super hype about this. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's excellent news. And more movie news. We have more things involving this famous upcoming Spider-Man 3.
It's happening.
And I tell you what, everybody and their grandma seems to be confirmed for this film at this point.
Yeah.
It looks like here that I know that there is in talks with the actor who played Sandman. I can't remember his name for the life of me. And also
Eric Hayden Church, I think.
Sure. And also in talks to apparently appear is Willem Dafoe reprising his role as the Green Goblin. And
that would be so cool if they do that.
It would be really interesting. I would like to see how they do it. He was great as Goblin, even if it was like a different Green Goblin where it was more CG and he just did the Green Goblin voice. I think he would be perfect. He was such a great part of that movie. Those first two Spider-Man movies were just so good. They were so good.
I've heard that the second one is pretty good. I think that, John, I think you're familiar with it. Is that true?
Yes, I'm familiar with Spider-Man.
That's the one with Electro, right?
No, that's Amazing Spider-Man 2,
that's correct.
Which isn't amazing like Spider-Man 2 is.
The best Spider-Man 2 is the one with Electro. That's right, yes.
No, don't do this.
If I can't have my McGonagall movie, I'm going to ruin everything for everybody.
You sounding like
just kidding.
Sounding like the villain from the comic that we read this week.
That's right, Matt. Just like the villain from the comic book this week, I'm a bad person. Let's jump right into KLAUS.
Here's your pull list.
Gentlemen, you know him. You love him. Santa Claus. But here's the problem with Santa Claus. We don't know where he came from. Unless you've seen like a lot of movies from like the 50s or like you've like been around. The point is, Santa Claus didn't have an origin story. But all of that has changed with Grant Morrison creating this chef's kiss of a book.
We don't know where he came from, but we know he's coming to town.
And we know that we should all be excited about it. Dan Mora was our artist and Grant Morrison was our writer for KLAUS, How Santa Claus Began. And Santa Claus, KLAUS or Claus.
I have no idea how it's pronounced.
Well, he's Santa Claus, so I'm going to pronounce it like Santa Claus. So,
and they even call Klaus with a K.
I think you can pronounce it either way. I'm not sure though. Are you from
Klaus
Germany?
As a name?
Are you from a Germanic country?
I mean, my heritage is.
I didn't ask
if
that.
If it's spelled with a K, it's pronounced Klaus as the name.
Always 100% of the time?
Yeah, I've yet to see otherwise.
I mean, I'm telling you right now. Because his name isn't even Klaus. His name is
Klaus.
Oh my God, no! They give him. He's got a name. What's his name?
They call him the Santa, but
they call him the Santa, and then they have that one really long name that starts with a J.
Else. No, the woman from his past calls him something. Calls him like his actual first name.
Yeah, she called him Klaus.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But regardless, it's also all very German named for everything, so it would be Klaus.
Mm-hmm. I like how he's referred to as the Santa, like the
Batman.
I
like that a lot.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah, and then there's that really long, like you were saying, that really long name. So once upon a time, and once upon a place, there was a man. And these days, everyone knows his name, but few could tell you how he began, who he really is, or how he started. This is the greatest untold story of them all. And it's how Santa became Santa. So he is a fur trader, a fur trapper out in the wilderness in made up place that doesn't actually exist. But the name of the town is Grimsvig. So Grimsvig is a town of no joy. It's a town of no happiness, no toys, no anything. They don't even do their Yuletide celebration that they normally do.
Would you say it's pretty grim?
I'd say it's pretty grim. Zvig. Grims. Yeah. I got nothing else. I was hoping that something else would come to me.
We've all been there.
So he struts into town looking just ever so lovely with his Jon Snow haircut and his wonderful beard. And he is, hey, what's going on? Got some fur and stuff to trade. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll take a look at it. You go keep yourself busy for a second.
And it's the middle of winter. And I'm pretty sure Klaus just lives by the mantra of sun's out, guns out. Because he's wearing a tank top.
The fewest amount of clothing on that you could have to legally constitute winter clothing. He's got a fur on his shoulders, but his arms are completely bare.
Gotta show off them guns.
He's a Second Amendment guy, dude. Got the right to bear arms. This is the hottest Santa. Fight me. This is the hottest Santa. I'll give what's his name? Kurt Russell did a pretty good looking Santa in that Netflix show, or Netflix movie. But this one's number one. So he's accosted at the local watering hole for being a little too mouthy, and they're like, "We're taking all your stuff." It's like, that's my. You can't just take my furs. I brought them here to trade. They're like, everything that walks through those gates is the Baron's. And I told John this on, I don't remember when it was, but I was like, "Hey man, you remember that Santa Claus is coming to town claymation stop motion cartoon thing? This is just that, but like darker." There's the Burgermeister Burger who doesn't allow anyone to have any toys.
Yeah, it's great,
pretty great. So Santa, early Santa's like, "Hey, so why are you yelling at kids and why are you taking all my stuff?" And they literally punch a child at one point. He's like, "You can't do that." So he goes to stop them. But he's one guy against like 7, so they beat him up pretty handily. And they throw him out into the woods, into the bare woods, without anything to protect him, hands tied, and they're going to kill him. And, everyone in the town is like, "This is bad." And there's one guy sitting on the ramparts like, "I don't know. I'm Sergeant Lindqvist, and I think this is the wrong thing." And then the most evil man of all time, like Grimmel Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings, mixed with like
exactly
all of the other bad guys.
It's great.
He walks up and is like, "Why do you think this is bad, Sergeant? I'm clearly the good guy." Oh, he's so evil.
With his Joker smile.
He's the worst.
Yeah,
he's like just so clearly the bad guy. So he watches in mockery as they run this beggar, this traitor out of town so they can try to hunt him and kill him. And as they're about to, they get taken. The people who are hunting him, the soldiers, get taken out by a gigantic wolf, a dire wolf, as you will. And this dire wolf's name is Lily, and she is so sweet and beautiful, and I love her.
I love it. I love all of it. I love it so much.
She's able to chew through the bindings on his hands,
setting him completely free, saving him. So it turns out he's pretty capable out in these woods. Yeah, he was running from the town, but he's going to be okay. He really has no reason to go back to that town, except perhaps to bring joy?
Back
in the town, we
we
see that no joy is had, not even by the most selfish, spoiled child ever.
Jonas.
My name is Jonas. He is never happy. His first Yuletide present is a beautiful miniature of the town where they live, and it's not good enough. And really, he kind of says it.
And like miniature of the town, but it's like, I don't know, sprawling out like 8 times the size of this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a small scale model of the town that they do say that the crafts workers worked a solid year on.
And he just destroys it.
Yep, he goes all Godzilla on it and just destroys it.
The world's worst kaiju.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This child says it later on, but it's why am I not good enough? Why is everything boring? He needs interaction. He's kept away from all the other kids, and he's told that by his father. He's not a king. Is he a baron?
He's a baron.
Baron. So he's the son of the baron, and the baron tells him, well, you can't go out there. You're going to get sick. They're diseased. They're horrible. But let's go see your mom. And his mom is this beautiful red-haired lady who Matt was in love with immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And she is she reminds me of, I can't put my finger on it, but like the wife of a ruler who's very despondent, doesn't seem to enjoy herself, and clearly doesn't like the person she's with, and has a horrible child that may be named Baron or something like that, or Baron's involved in the name. And she's very pretty, but like doesn't seem happy. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
I just want to confirm, you cannot put your finger on it.
I cannot put my finger on it.
It's
okay, I just want to be sure.
Tough time.
It's not ringing any bells, to be honest.
It's not. It's really not. It's ringing any bells. She clearly is not. She doesn't like the Christmas stuff. You know, she might even say, "Who cares about this Christmas baloney?" She might say, "That's definitely a possibility." But she decorates everything really nicely.
Do you think she'd be the one to like decorate anyway?
Oh, absolutely. She totally would be. She also might wear a jacket that says like, "Who cares?" on the back of it while like visiting townsfolk who are dying or something like that.
It was pretty sure the jacket said,
it's like an archetype, you know?
I'm pretty sure the jacket said, "I really don't care, do you?" But
oh, that's what the jacket would totally say. Absolutely. Oh man. You know, I just,
and again, you cannot think of anyone specific.
Can't think of anyone specific.
Okay.
I feel like I might be getting too specific. I don't know. If you guys have any insight, please let me know. Tweet at me at LizardKing27. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, back to the book. That's totally not about real things.
Excuse me, Santa Claus is very real.
I'm sorry, I meant the archetypes.
Oh, okay.
That aren't real. That's what I meant. Santa, of course, is real.
Obviously.
I was talking about the archetypes.
Okay.
Melania. Why did I say that name? That's not her name. That's very weird. And so they're at their family dinner, and obviously the Baron's like just a sour, dour son of a gun. And she's beautiful and amazing. And her son there's something there with her son, but he's been given nothing to work with as far as like love and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, oh, you know, this wild man came to town, and the kid's like, that's almost interesting. I'm so bored. And the Baron is, you know, he's saying, well, you know, we can just ignore this wild man. Who cares? He's a bad man. And we see, not only is he not a bad man, he is a bad man. Like, he's bad. He takes down like this massive elk with his wolf. It's so cool.
I like how they did the art with Jonas in his room destroying everything, and them going through the corridor with his dad. And then they open up the door on Mom, and it's this beautifully colored Christmas tree in this beautiful hall, beautifully lit. I like how it's like every time it's on Magnus and Jonas, it's really just dark. And then it opens up to her, and it's like this beautiful Christmas scene.
And even at the table, because when the panels will focus on Jonas or Magnus, you get the background where it's dark and shadowy, but she is the center of it, so she always has a bright background.
Yeah, she has the tree behind her. But I liked that. I thought that was a good stylistic
We get to
choice.
see.
And then we cut to it's very well done. The art in this book overall is incredible. We're going to see an amazing example of that in a second when we cut back to Stupid Sexy Santa.
Hell yeah.
He is in the woods making some broth to heal himself because he got banged up today. And he takes out a flute, that's not a flute, but it's something.
It's like a piccolo.
It's like
a
type of
something,
flute.
yeah.
It's a small woodwind.
Yeah, it's a flute-like instrument.
Yes. And plays it, and the music that comes out of it is illustrated in different colors, which is wonderful.
You know what it might be? Because Grant Morrison's big on like psychedelic drug culture. Mm-hmm. It might be pipe, because as soon as he puts his mouth on said pipe, he sees a lot of psychedelic images.
That could be, because then, also like you're thinking this is kind of vaguely like Grimm's fairy tale aesthetic-ish. Mm-hmm. So that would bring to mind like Pied Piper type of thing. So I could definitely see it being a pipe.
I like that they, animated, I guess, the music. Every time there's music in this book, you see all the, you see the treble clef, you see all the notes and stuff, and I'll watch them fly around and stuff. I thought that was I really like that.
There's a lot of good stylistic choices in this book.
And the music summons the spirits of the wood.
I love when they do fae things in like Nordic mythology. I think they're so cool. And I like how they're so not human and they're kind of scary looking.
They look
but
like
they're not bad.
They look like aliens. Not
with the oversized heads and the drastically oversized eyes that you normally see. Yeah,
I agree 100%. I like that they're otherworldly because they're not humans, but they still aren't necessarily bad. I like that a lot. But John, what happens with these fae, these spirits?
I don't even know specifically what happens, but what's depicted is they kind of extend their arms toward KLAUS, and you see all sorts of bursts of vibrant colors, vivid greens, blues, reds, and he kind of picks up a sword, and that's the end of that scene.
He just kind of walks into the woods.
Well, he starts carving stuff.
Yeah, starts carving stuff, opens on the next day, and he's like, oh man, who made all these toys?
Boy, are my arms tired.
Why do my hands hurt? Why are there toys?
And he goes, Lily, what did I do? And Lily's like, I'm a dog. I'm a wolf. I can't.
Guess I better put these in my sack and bring them to town and give them to all the children.
And some of these toys are amazing. So like some of the toys are like very obvious ones, like little bears and horses and animals. And then there's some that are like horrible eldritch creatures, which are still cute. I love it.
There's a Pinocchio-like one. There's one that looks just like Cha-Cha or Hazel, depending if you're talking about the series of the show. It's great.
There's a little egg that walks. There's a moose. I'm a big fan. But these toys aren't just regular toys. Like they can actually like fly and like move on their own. Like they're magical. And they magically climb into a bag on their own. And then he needs to take that bag and do something with it. Chapter 2 is the beginning of Santa doing just that thing. He infiltrates the city under darkness, and he
uses this.
He throws a snowball.
Yeah, and
Matt, go ahead.
He throws a snowball at a roof in the city, a roof that underneath 2 guards are stationed, and the snowball rolls down, and it snowballs. It becomes bigger and bigger, and it crushes them.
It's great.
Like, okay, Santa.
And he's great. And then he takes all of the toys and he puts them on the doorsteps of all of the homes, which is one thing. Oh, he also puts the runic symbol for joy on the chin of the Baron's propaganda. So like he vandalizes the propaganda. It's awesome. And I went and looked up the symbols that are in this book before they say it just in plain English. I was like, oh, what is that symbol? And I was like, it's joy. That's so cool. I know something. And then the next panel was like, it's joy. I'm like, oh, okay. So like they were just going to
put the rune for joy there.
I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Atreus.
30 seconds you'll never get back.
Right. Well, they don't tell you in one of the panels, the last panel, actually. So the last time you see the runes. So I actually have those written down. So I'll have some information. The next day, the kids wake up, or the families all wake up, and one of the women is like, hey, Gunnar, you got to get up right now. And he's like, but I don't have to be up yet. The mines aren't open yet. And she's like, you got to get up right now. You got to come take a look at this. And he's like, what is it? Oh my God, my kids are having fun with something. His kids are playing with all the toys. And Gunnar's like, oh no, this is bad. This is very bad.
The mom's like, you can't let anyone see. What'll happen if they know? Open it up to outside, and every kid is playing with toys
Just
in the street in front of God and everyone.
Time.
Because kids play with toys.
Yeah.
And in this town, I don't know if we touched upon it, but the whole reason there's no toys is because the narrative spewed by Baron, the fake news, as it were, is that
hasn't come up yet. It's about to.
Okay. Well,
so we haven't. So
we'll just get to it anyway. The narrative that's spun is that as much as Magnus tells Jonas, you can't touch the kids, they're going to get you diseased, Magnus tells the kids, or the town in general, that, well, Jonas can't mingle with the crowds because he has a condition. So he can't, unfortunately, he can't come with the crowd. He'd love to, but he can't. So it'd be, every toy has to go to him because he is bedridden and can't do anything on this, like, and can't interact with people. So the least you could do is have all the toys, is give him all the toys by decree, I guess.
Mm-hmm. But he just wants to. We will later find out that he just wants to remove all of the joy and happiness from the town for reasons.
Yeah. But that's the narrative that's spun.
So the toys are all removed from the houses because of what John just said, and they are taken out and given to
Jonas.
Magnus gives them to Jonas, and Jonas like, they don't work. They're supposed to fly. This is dumb. I hate it.
And he just
why'd they fly for the other kids? What's wrong with me?
Yeah, he says that, and you see, this is where you start to see that Jonas isn't he's a bad kid, but it's because of how he's been raised. Like, he's not inherently evil, unlike Magnus, who is just short of being the worst.
Dripping with evil.
Yes.
He's very bad. He's very, very bad. When Jonas whips the toy across the room, what is her name?
Dagmar?
Dagmar.
Dagmar takes the toy that he just broke. She's like, I've seen this before. And she runs and she finds an exact or a very similar looking toy. And she says, oh, KLAUS? And this is. And
it's toy she has had and has hidden away forever.
So clearly she knows this handsome woodland man. The next night, everyone is like, we got to be on high alert for this dude. We got to get him. We need Olav. And Olav's like, Olav, no one hides from Olav. Olav will find man. Olav will eat him. Olav is me. And Olav's great. And Olav lasts for a total of 4 pages. Because he finds Santa. He tries to beat up Santa. Santa then traps him by pulling his feet up from under him and throws a snowball on him.
Turns him into a snowman.
An upside down snowman is so great.
None of this is actually seen by the guard, which now causes a sort of mythology to appear. Like, no, obviously he's coming in. Like, there's no way it's real. There's no one who could take down Olaf. Who knows what that is? No, obviously he's real. Like, okay, well, if he's real, then why isn't he here?
Yeah.
They call him the Yuletime spirit.
It's a ghost.
A ghost. And the Baron says, well, if it's a ghost, then he'll be fine surviving these dogs. And they send the dogs after him. And how's he going to escape the dogs? Oh, man, he's running. And he's screwed. It's game over. But out of nowhere, the dogs just start kind of like, oh, God, they all back down. They bow their tails between their legs. They bow their heads. They pull their ears back. Because who came in, Matt?
Lily, the bestest girl ever.
Lily, the beautiful. She looks just like Ghost from Game of Thrones, but with yellow eyes instead of red. She's beautiful. And KLAUS is like, hey, how did you get it? Oh, you must have snuck through the walls. Because that's something that's happened before. So I told you to stay out, but thank you very much, my beautiful wolf girl. You're the best. You got to go now, though, so I don't get hurt. The soldiers all see the dogs come back, and they're like, okay, this proves it. He's a ghost. They're like, well, maybe a giant wolf snuck through the walls. And they're like, that's not possible. He's a ghost. It's clear.
And then they end on clearly it's a wolf ghost.
It's a wolf ghost. So they say, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch all of the front doors tonight. He won't be able to leave any presents. And Santa's sitting on the rooftops like, whatever shall I do? Look at all these chimneys. Idea. So the kids are then burning wishes to the Santa using their fireplaces, which is symbolism for we're going to be coming back to those fireplaces, while the men are all working in the mines, and they're complaining about hearing a voice calling for someone over and over, calling a name.
Working in coal mines.
And they're being worked to literal death in the mines.
Sure are.
They are gaunt. You can see all the ribs. It's gross.
The Baron sees Dagmar holding this strange bird toy. It's like, this is a symbol of revolt. And if you're on their side, you'll be destroyed because only one side can win.
He does notice that her bird is marked with age and is old, unlike all of the other toys, which leads him to believe, like, okay, clearly the Santa is toying with us.
Yeah.
Yes. And he says to her, oh, you're talking to yourself. That's a little weird. And she's like, oh, man, I totally miss my boyfriend who's a beautiful mountain man. And he's like, well, you're talking to yourself. That's the first sign of madness. She goes, well, you talk to yourself. It's like, yeah, but when I do it, it's different. Shut up.
You.
I learned from watching you, okay? So we have the Baron is going off to do a thing while Klaus is healing up his wounds and seeing more of the Fey folk and getting more toys made. The Baron is going into the library and getting a book, a very creepy book, very Necronomicon-y. Then he goes further down into the mines. He's clear the mines, and he has to talk to the mines. And at this point, I'm like, oh, it's a Satan. He's doing a Satan thing. This is a Satan. He's talking to the Satan that I was referencing. And the mine is talking back to him and actually cracking and yelling at him in a language that's incomprehensible.
I read it as peanut adult voices.
Wah, 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 wah,
so
wah,
this
wah,
Santa
wah.
is being taken care of. Wah, 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 wah. Give me the strength.
I read it as like...
Don't ever forget who's in charge. Wah, 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 wah,
I read it like the deep speech from Mordor. But I like...
That's probably much more accurate.
I like yours.
But I like
yeah,
my
but that's in like that nonsense like fantasy stuff that makes sense. I like the Peanuts thing. That's dumb.
It makes it less terrifying.
Maybe that's why I did it.
I like that. So we've seen some of the more sinister side of the city. So it turns out that he kind of gives away a little bit of his plan. You know, I've taken away everything. They don't have any joy. I'm killing the men. It's all going very well. But
we have all this coal.
Yep.
We have so much coal.
Think of the barbecue we are going to have.
We will roast at least one pig.
And the whole thing this entire time is that I guess the king is going to come in a couple days' time.
Yep.
So there's kind of
king is not happy.
Kind of a clock on this whole thing.
Yes, but
the king is not happy with this town.
We don't learn that right away, though. As far as we know, just Correct. The king is a coming.
We see that the people are all at church that day, and the bells are all of a sudden rung. And the bells aren't supposed to ring because that might imply some kind of joy. They're only supposed to ring for work shifts to start. Mm-hmm. Everyone runs outside and they see another giant rune of joy carved in the snow on the ground. They're like, oh, this must be that Santa. And Santa is escaping. No one knows that he's escaping, but he's ziplining away. And it's very much Dukes of Hazzardy. Like, oh, that Santa boy, he's in trouble again.
Down, 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 down.
Exactly.
I saw it as like Assassin's Creed, but once again, I prefer your guys.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. He sees the horrible Christmas tree that was left, or the Yuletide tree in the middle of town that's been left to turn to dust. It's essentially a dead tree, which is crazy because pine trees are very, very sturdy and they last a long time. He chops it down, he lights it on fire, and he throws it into town, and it almost hits the Baron. And the Baron's like, this means war! And then he runs off. So he lights a fire under the Baron's butt, but then he lights a different kind of fire for Dagmar. Ba-boom. I am good with words. Ladies, too late. I'm already taken. We then find out Klaus's backstory.
Yes.
Which is really interesting.
It was very interesting.
His mother froze to death, but like...
The flashback issue.
Yeah, like
his mother froze to death on the middle of a lake.
And he was discovered alive. His mother, when they found him,
totally fine.
The mom was just completely ice at that point. Like if she just got frozen by Sub-Zero, just ice. And they find him and they're like, oh my goodness, he's alive. And the Baron, the original older Baron of Grimsville, yeah, takes him in.
Grimsville
takes him in as
Grimsville, baby doll.
Takes him in as one of his own, and you see basically
allowing him to grow up in hope and harmony.
Yes, and you see Klaus grow up. You see him as a kid, and he carves a bird for Dagmar, and the bird flies to her because Dagmar just buried her pet bird. Then you see
they become bestest of friends.
They do become bestest of friends, and then you get another jump.
And Snape wants to marry. I'm sorry, this is a different character.
Sorry, Christian names, Jeremy. Grima.
But like, oh my God, he's in love with the redhead who doesn't love him back because she's in love with the dark-haired boy. Like, come on. That's just Lily, James, and Snape.
And then this
is the same thing.
It jumps forward.
We see him in the window like, I would do anything.
Yeah, but this Snape is not redeemable whatsoever.
Not even
not at all. So he's like, I would do anything to make her love me. And you hear that a horrible voice.
Anything.
But it's also kind of Peanuts because it's the same color.
Yeah. But yeah, you jump forward in time and you see Klaus is older and he's captain of the guard. And they are sent out on a hunting mission. They're hunting wolves, and they have them all trapped. And all the soldiers are like, Klaus, captain, we have them trapped. Are you ready? And Klaus is checking out a bush nearby.
Where he thinks a thing is happening.
Where he finds little Lily.
The bestest girl.
Little Lily as a puppy. And they're like, is there any signs of life over there? And Klaus is like, nope, nothing. And
at the same time this hunting party is happening, the evil man, who's Magnus, is seen poisoning the king. And he's like, no, this is the thing that'll help you. I'm definitely Grima Wormtongue. And he kills the king, but convinces everyone that Klaus did it.
Yes.
But he didn't.
He is therefore banished.
We cut back to like the present day and we see that Dagmar and Klaus are talking. And she's like, you killed my dad. And he's like, no, I didn't. If I did, why would I be standing here talking to you so confident? I didn't do that. But when he was banished, that's when he met Lily again. And then they became best friends.
Yeah.
So he brings Dagmar a toy. He's like, yeah, this is for your son. I want you to, realize that there's joy in life in the world. There's magic in the world. I'm going to start a revolution. Maybe you should consider joining me. Dagmar brings this toy to Jonas. He's like, yes, I will destroy it. And she's like, or we could play. And he's like, what is play? And they play.
Yeah, I like how she does that because she goes like, she's like, I mean, yeah, sure, you could be a giant and you could kill it, but then the story's over. What if like other fun stuff happened instead?
And he's like, what is it you speak of, mother? And she's like, we could do a story. And she like tells a little story. And he's like, I like this. This is fun. Very much like the clearly evil guy, like being told he doesn't have to be evil. And he's like, what? It's great. But just as they're starting to have fun and like be people, Magnus comes back in and is like, nope. Let's go. We're going to be evil. You see in the mines that it's getting worse and worse. They're killing the revolutionaries within the mine, and the voice is getting louder. Free me. The one man who is on the inside of the captain's guard, the captain is Carl Linkvist, the man who found the baby 39 years ago or 30 years ago, however old Klaus is back. And he's like, Captain, I think that there's still some good in you. You and everybody in the town are invited to my Yuletide party. What do you say? And Carl's like, well, I don't know. I'm definitely a good guy, so I'll definitely... Okay. We see that Magnus is conscribed Jonas to write a wish to the Santa, and we'll see that pay off later. But He's turning the child against him. It's horrible. This is where we also find out more about the voice. And Dagmar finds out that Magnus has been tricked into doing stuff off his voice. She's like, this voice is in your head, dude. This is all fake. You know that, right? And he's like, no, I've destroyed the town and made everyone sad. And look, I can lift this sword. And he can't.
Yeah, she has Jonas tell him what he was doing with his dad. And then the doors just burst open. You see him dragging that giant sword and looking completely just lost his mind, ready to just go bananas. It's scary. He's scary. I don't like him.
He's losing his mind at this point. He thinks that she's turning against him, which she is, and he's not going to let that happen. He's gone full crazy town banana pants.
Oh, absolutely.
And with the king so close, the king is coming the next day, and he knows that the king is mad at him, and he knows that if he only has one chance to do this, and if the king comes and he hasn't fulfilled his plan to the voice, the king will kill them all, including Dagmar. So he says, we have to finish this. We have to give the voice everything it wants. Otherwise, we're totally screwed. And Dagmar's like, you're crazy. I'm out. And we then see Santa dropping off toys into chimneys because obviously that's the origin of the chimney. Santa going in the chimney. It makes perfect sense. And he finds the letter to Santa, the wish that is going to be granted from Jonas. He attempts to meet up with Carl. It doesn't work out because his shift was changed. So this is bad. He goes into the mines to free all of the captive men. And he's like, hey, just so you guys know, the Baron's a total nerd. And they're like, yo, the Baron is a nerd. Woo! And so they all leave the mine very quickly. It's great. Magnus continues to spiral further and further. Santa then follows the letter and it's like, hey, really sad story. My mom is like super sick and my dad died and we don't even have a chimney. So I just wish that maybe you could give me a horse like the Greek stories. That'd be so cool, Santa. I love you and I am a real person.
But if you're too busy, that's fine.
Yeah, but like whatever. But like, hey, if you do come, I'm the house without a chimney and I'll leave the door unlocked. And
also, don't wake up my mom because she's so sick.
Right. So he does go in and he sees Carl tied up and it's an ambush. At the same time, Dagmar's like, you're psycho, Magnus. I'm leaving. I'm going to go out in the town. And the town's like, we hate you because you've been a part of Magnus's nonsense for the last 20 years. So we think you're evil too. And they literally throw poop at her.
I thought it was like food. I did not.
I also thought it was like food.
I think it's poop. She looks so disgusted when that thing hits her face. I think it's poop. Even if it's not, my headcanon is, it's poop. It's gross. So Santa fights off the guards who ambushed him, but he is taking some arrows and he's in a bad way. And he's like, please help me to like random people. And they're like, hey, he's over here. So he's lost all of his allies. The town is turned against him again because, in all honesty, they really don't see a lot of benefit to him right now because the town is still horrible. But one boy, Gunnar's son, saves him and brings him outside. He's going to bring him to this house originally, but the guards are all there. And so he says, Santa's like, just get me outside the walls. Help me. He brings him outside, brings him back to his home so he can try to heal. But here's the problem with that. Kids are stupid. So they leave footprints. Magnus follows those footprints into the woods and is whirled by it.
Yep.
I do say I love the final panel in this issue is Magnus going, shall we proceed to the inevitable conclusion?
It's very cool. The inevitable conclusion begins with the king coming. He's getting to the town. Jonas and Dagmar attempt to run away. And Santa and this boy, whose name is Finn and Santa get back to Santa's house, and he's able to heal Santa a little bit. He's like, thank you. You did so much. I really appreciate you. Hey, could you go double check on Lily for me? And Lily's outside growling. And Finn's like, hey, there's lights out here. And initially, you're led to believe like, it's the spirits of the forest. This is a good thing. It's not, though. It's lit arrows that strike Lily and are attempting to burn down the home of Santa. Magnus has found him. Magnus has him spiked, tied up, all of his limbs splayed out, spread eagle, and then those limbs are tied to ropes and spiked into the ice. So he is like on the ice, no shirt, just to freeze to death and die while his home burns down. Magnus is this is when he just twists the knife. He's like, oh, the wolf will be shot and stuffed. The miners will work and they will fall. And I will keep my appointment with the crown and I will kill all of the children. And Santa's like, oh, you went from evil to the most evil. The plan is to get the kids to eat a bunch of candy, though? What? That's crazy. It'd be insane if like there was German folklore that had kids eating candy.
Yeah, all the kids are like, isn't this amazing? We're having the best time finally getting sweets. And Finn's like, maybe don't do that. You know how like, we fatten up a goose before we like kill it and eat it? And she's like, but cookies.
That is
like,
a very compelling argument, I would say.
I agree.
I'd be like, you're right, but cookies.
So that's happening in the mines. They unleash the thing, and it's Krampus.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Krampus. The king
up
gets to the
Krampus.
town, and Magnus is like, sup, king? And the king's like, hey, Magnus, you're like clearly a bad guy, so we're going to have you killed, and we're going to save this town. And Magnus is like, no, you're not.
Nonsense.
Krampus.
Stay for the feast. I can't get up because of a bad condition, but like have all this food that's probably likely poisoned.
He says, yeah, so on your knees or die where you stand. And then literally Krampus walks in the room. And it's the most scary.
Starts spitting fire. It's a whole thing.
Lily comes to Santa's aid as he's like clearly dying. She licks him. He's like, don't be scared. I'm going to die. But maybe sing that nice song. And so her and her wolf companions all howl. They howl, and this is the words that they're howling. Play, in play our young are, cause hurt, now must make better. Come, make better. And there's 3 runes here, and the 3 runes are joy, generosity, so the X is generosity, the P is joy, and the other one is death. Or it also could be stability. It's hard to tell with runes. They have multiple meanings. But I think what that means is, you'll give, you'll bring joy, and you'll never die. So they put these runes in him. He screams, and the issue ends. The final chapter of this book is just the most bonkers thing that's ever been seen. The kids break out of the dungeon because they know, Santa's dead. He was just a dude. He can't save us. And they're like, well, who's going to save us? And they're like, well, we have to save ourselves. Krampus just wants to eat all the kids, starting with Jonas, because he's so evil. Magnus realizes he has no control over this thing.
Yeah, the book he was grabbing is where Krampus was bound, and he's no longer pictured in the book because he is now free. Turns out Krampus, shocker, was just using Magnus to free himself.
Yeah, it's real bad. Krampus ends up cornering the kids and, people in the castle. He's like, nothing can save you from me. And Santa says, like, I disagree, and rides up on the most baller sleigh of all time, being pulled by levitating wolves. Repeat that. He pulls up on a sleigh pulled by levitating wolves,
brandishing a sword with the perfect arc of lightning behind it.
Yup. He's everything.
And he's wearing the red and white for Grimsvig. Oh, he's so sick. He's
amazing. This is my Santa forever.
No. This is Santa.
Get that happy fat guy out of there. It's time for buff Santa. It's time for Daddy Santa.
Yeah. Tim Allen.
There's nothing wrong with stupid, sexy Santa.
You're damn right.
Absolutely. Santa and Krampus fight. The town is like, hey, we should kill the Baron and his wife and kid, right? Like, yeah, they're bad. We all hate them. But maybe our opinions will turn around if Santa tells us to do it. Magnus runs Santa through the sword. And we all are thinking, oh no, this is so bad. But turns out, well, actually, after he runs Santa through the sword, he's like, there, Krampus, I saved you. Now give me what I want. Give me what I deserve. And
Matt goes into a whole thing on how he gave everything to Krampus. And like, if Dagmar ever loved him, it's because he cast a spell on her. And the entire life and everything he gave was for the power that Krampus promised him. Now he's not getting it, and he just needs what he deserves.
No, he gets what he deserves in a way.
He sure, no, not in a way, exactly what he deserves. And he is burned by Krampus, and he's dead forever.
Yes.
And the town is like, praise the monster, kill the rest of the bad guys. They're not wrong. I understand their thoughts. It's looking horrible, right? It's looking bad. Krampus is pulling in Jonas. He's going to win. And Santa's like, hey, just so you know, I can't die. And I am so attractive. And she's like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I can't die. So they fight.
I promise I will never die.
I will never die.
Look,
long story short.
Look at these abs.
Oh, yeah. Long story short, Santa beats Krampus. It's beautiful. He actually beats Krampus by taking him up into space and cutting his head off. Yep. So that's awesome.
Yep, takes him
There's
to
a
space.
sentence you didn't know you were
tries
getting.
to breathe fire on him, and Santa's like, you're all out, and then just cuts off his head.
You need oxygen for fire. So.
The body flies back to Earth, and then Santa's like, hey, here's your son. Let's have a much happier time now. He like brings a new Christmas tree in, and then we see like 45 years of their lives pass in front of us, and it's really, really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
What I love in the foreground is you see Finn and the girl who was eating cookies make friends and then fall in love and then grow old.
And we see Jonas develop friendships and start to read books, and he becomes the new Baron, and it's a much better life. And we see grandkids and grandbabies. All the while, Santa hasn't aged a day, but Dagmar continues to age, and eventually she does pass away. And she says, her last thing she says is, I think my dancing days are done here, dear Klaus. What a life it's been. Please promise me you won't dance on alone. And she dies. But at no point is this a sad, I mean, it's sad, but she lived a full life.
I definitely cried.
I was very close to tears. And Santa at this point leaves. And Jonas says, you're leaving us, Father Klaus? The children will miss your tales and adventures. We all will. My mother, Lady Dagmar, she wanted you to have this. And she gives the original, or a version of the bird that will always remind him, well, I'll be back. Lily and I, once a year, every year, with gifts for the children. I promise. We won't forget. So this is Santa. He's not going to let this keep him down. He's able to mourn and love and live. But he knows that he has a greater power and a greater responsibility to everyone else out there. And he says, watch for me when the nights are long and the days grow cold, when there's a need of light in the darkness. And he and Lily and his amazing space dogs fly off around the world to bring joy to other people. And that's how Santa became Santa. And I swear to God, I didn't know it was going to be this good, but I loved it.
It was so
It was
good.
amazing.
They took Santa, and Grant Morrison was like, what's Matt's absolute garbage? And
he's sitting there in Scotland, and he's like, how can I make Matt Spina the most happy guy ever in the whole entire world?
The only thing he needed
Santa
was a bow and arrow, but it's fine because Dagmar used one to shoot at Krampus. And he has wolf companions. Like, just forget it. Forget it. Forget it.
Well, we know that Matt has a new zaddy, and it's Santa Claus.
I mean, come on. Come on.
The safe word is Kringle. John, what did you think? I know that Matt is drooling.
I love this book. I loved it a lot.
Were you expecting it to be this much fun and like this entertaining?
No, I was not. I sat down to read it last night. I'm like, all right, let's read this
get
book.
Through this.
I wasn't particularly sold on the theme, but I'm like, let's try new things. Who cares? Not who cares, but let's try new things. Why not? And I love this book.
I'm with you. It was really good. It was like really good. That'll take us out. Let's talk about Christmas cheer in the outro and see what's coming up for Talking Trades in 2021. is the podcast for 2020, gentlemen. I could not think of two people I'd like to spend 2020 with more, except maybe for Daddy Santa.
You know, I feel like we all need a little bit of Daddy Santa in our lives. Wolf Daddy Santa. I love him. I want to be him. That's who I want to be when I grow up.
Men want to be him. Some men want to be with him. Women want to be him. Women want to be with him. Everybody wants a little piece of Daddy Santa.
You're damn right.
So we've got a lot of awesome stuff. First of all, thank you for joining us
yes.
for any episodes this year. We appreciate you. We love you all.
Yes, thank you for sticking with us during this pandemic and choosing to listen to us to hopefully make things a little bit easier during all this craziness that's been happening this year as it finally winds down to an end, thankfully.
Thank you for our most listened to year ever.
Yes, we hit a lot of milestones this year. It was really
Episode
great.
100.
Episode 100.
Over 12,000 listens.
And it's exciting.
A new member of the podcast, Matt.
A new regular member instead of me kind of showing up every now and then. Yeah.
John,
great.
handsome as ever.
John,
I try.
The best. Just the best sass of the group. John.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
What would we do without it? Gentlemen, I love you. I'm so happy to have shared this time with you, and you guys are the best. Thank you so much for everything you guys have done this year.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. That's so nice. But yeah, so next year, like Jeremy said, we have a lot, I guess, planned on the horizon.
We might take a trip on back to 1984 for no reason.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why.
The Ray Bradbury novel.
Obviously. Or the movie starring Michael B. Jordan.
He should play Daddy Santa.
Actually, you know what? That was a different one. Michael B. Jordan
was right.
in
That was Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, it was Fahrenheit 451.
The other really famous Ray Bradbury novel.
Yeah, the other Ray Bradbury film or novel.
Gentlemen, we've been talking about Ray Bradbury for way too long on this podcast, but let's take it out with the conclusion of our Santa special.
Yes. Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Happy
Be safe,
New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. See ya in the 2021.
Last time on Talking Trades.
So you're a clone?
But you have to buy 3 on the same purchase.
I'm not saying yes, but I'm also not saying no.
We're going to need a bigger podcast.
No, I know what I ordered, and this isn't what I ordered.
So this isn't technically Amazon, but you can take Amazon returns?
Boys, you came from such a long way away. Where is that? Chicago?
Oh, well, actually,
outside of Chicago.
Northwest suburbs.
Suburbs. It's about
No,
hour out.
I understand, gentlemen. It's much easier to say Chicago. Well, tell me, you came so far away. What is it you need from me, from Santa?
Well, we had a problem with the naughty list this year.
Yeah.
The naughty list? What's wrong with the naughty list? People need to be on the naughty list if they're not nice.
I understand that, but I'm on it.
Well, Jonathan, perhaps maybe you had a bit of a naughty year?
With all due respect, I disagree.
Yeah, that really doesn't sound like John's MO. It really fit more for Jeremy.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, wait a second.
Well, boys, I can't say that I'm prone to too many mistakes, but since you came all this way, I will check for you. Let me just check these out. Let me get my paper list. We meant to digitize it, but when you hit print all, you print all.
You print all, I know.
Okay. On the J's. Johanna. Jonathan. Yes, you're on the... You know what? I see the issue here, Jonathan.
Yeah?
I only checked the list once.
I'm not on the naughty list.
It was a clerical error.
The best-ish kind of error.
So wait a second. You're telling me John's no longer on the naughty list?
That's correct, boys.
Guys, I think you know what this means. Synchronized yay! 1, 2, 3. Yay!
Boys, I'm so glad that you're so happy. Oh, you came from so far away to help your friend. I think each of you deserves a Christmas wish. Jonathan, what can Santa do for you?
A new Funko Pop, but with a new hat.
Absolutely.
It's a chase.
Jeremiah, what can Santa do for you?
It's Jeremy. That's not my name. It's not Jeremiah. Can I get a PS5?
No, absolutely not. The scalpers took all of them. But I do have a Series S.
A Series X?
No, S. Series S.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Santa.
Matthew, what can Santa do for you?
Honestly, I would just like to have gas for my car so we don't have to walk back.
Santa doesn't believe in fossil fuels.
Doesn't believe in...
No!
That's
no,
it!
Matt, no!
Hold me back!
We don't want to be in the naughty list! Stop!
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and a happy New Year!
Hey, all you Blitzens and Vixens. This is Daddy Santa. Before we jump and see who's on the naughty list, I'm gonna jump into your DMs before I jump down your chimney.
Hey, Matt, what are you doing?
Nothing. What are you doing?
Were you doing the Daddy Santa voice again?
No, you're the
No, you were doing the Daddy Santa voice again.
You're doing the Daddy Santa. You know what? That's the podcast this year.
You can follow us on Twitter at Talkin' Trades. Follow Jeremy on Twitter at LizardKing27. You can find John on Twitter at Maesterlaka, Maesterlaka. And for this and other projects from Matt, please check out Facebook at Matt Spina Music. And remember, we're not experts, we're fans.